Welcome to the News Hour. Around 2,500 U.S. Marines are reportedly heading for the Middle East, along with an amphibious warship. Their mission is not yet clear, but it signals a marked increase in U.S. forces in the region.
The deployment comes as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said more than 15,000 targets had been struck in Iran over nearly 2 weeks of relentless bombing against the regime. 13 American personnel have now been killed during the war, and more than 2,000 are dead, both in Iran and from Israeli strikes in Lebanon. Stephanie Tsai reports.
Mid-interview, a pro-regime demonstrator in Tehran interrupted. An airstrike sends smoke rising over a crowded square but doesn't disperse the masses. These Iranians are defiant, chanting familiar slogans. Death to America, death to Israel, setting fire to Israeli and American flags. The protesters had gathered for an annual rally in solidarity with Palestinians when the midday strike hit, killing at least one person. Several top Iranian leaders, including the president Masoud Pezeshkian, were in the crowd. Iran's hardline judiciary chief speaking to a reporter in the moment.
We stand with the people until the last breath. People don't fear these boom boom sounds. Under the rain and the missiles, they will not back down at all.
In northern Israel, fear over cross-border retaliation. A home where a family once lived is now filled with shrapnel and debris. Another Iranian missile fired by Hezbollah in Lebanon, this one leaving at least 58 people injured. In the early hours Friday, Iran targeted a U.S. airbase in southern Turkey. The ballistic missile was intercepted by NATO defenses as the American death toll is rising. U.S. Central Command said today 6 Americans were confirmed deceased when their aircraft was lost during Operation Epic Fury. It added the circumstances of the incident, which occurred in western Iraq, are under investigation. Earlier today, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said Iran's, quote, evil regime is crumbling.
They're confused and we know it. Our response, we will keep pressing, we will keep pushing, keep advancing, no quarter, no mercy.
No quarter suggests even those who surrender could be killed, a violation of international law. Meanwhile, market-shaking concerns remain over the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical international oil route.
The only thing prohibiting transit in the straits right now is Iran shooting at shipping. It is open for transit should Iran not do that.
The U.S. is temporarily easing some of its sanctions on importing Russian oil in an effort to ease supplies. But today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, when meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron, emphasized the U.S. sanction waivers won't help end the war he's fighting.
This single easing of sanctions by America could provide Russia with approximately $10 billion for the war. This certainly does not help peace.
German Chancellor Friedrich Merz today adding it is a price problem, not a quantity problem.
There was a very clear opinion from 6 members of the G7 that this is not the right signal. We then learned this morning that the American government has apparently decided otherwise. Again, we believe this is wrong.
Meanwhile, President Trump today addressed reports that Russia is aiding the Iranian regime.
You think Putin is helping them?
I think he might be helping him a little bit, yeah, I guess. And he probably thinks we're helping Ukraine, right?
And you are, right?
Yeah, we're helping him also. And so he says that. And China would say the same thing. You know, it's like, hey, they do it and we do it, in all fairness.
The comments followed a social media post from the president earlier today saying the Iranian regime has been, quote, killing innocent people all over the world for 47 years, and now he is killing them. A great honor, he added. The U.S. is now sending more aircraft into the Middle East, signaling the military campaign is far from over. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Stephanie Tsai.
Support your local PBS station. Your local station needs you now. Your generous financial support is more critical than ever to keep your local PBS station strong. Make a gift today to continue to provide a home for the NewsHour and other programs you rely on.